All right, there we go. Hey, everybody. So, first of all, before we get started with anything else, I want to just wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have had a good day and were able to spend it with the people that you care and that you love um, with, and that's always a good thing. This was my first Christmas without the kids, so that part was weird. Other than that, it was like no big deal. It was like another day. I was real happy that the sun was out all day down here today, and I think it got up to 22, and I was like, I felt like it was like a heat wave. But yeah, it was actually nice to get some good solar in today on the panels and for the batteries and stuff. So that was always helpful as well. So I got to show you this. You see this here? You see a mark here on my face here, and actually there's one on my nose. So this morning, Miss Hella, what she always does in the morning is she jumps on the bed with her upper body, and I'll pet her. Okay, and that's like our morning routine because she sleeps at the end of my bed, and so she jumps up on her and I pet her. Well, when I pet her, I had stopped for a second and turned away, and I turned back, and she hit me with a paw, like right through my face. So I was like, I was like, oh no, no, it was not. So I have a mark that's when I had one on my nose too, but that's the one you can see here from her paw. I'm getting beat up by my dog, but all these things happen. So anyway, before we really get started with everything here, I just want to remind everybody that this is obviously a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask everybody to please be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness. Let's just be kind to one another, and we will have a good chat. If you can't abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the wrenches will boot you out of here because we are not going to have it. Hey, there's Asif is in the house. You've been missed, my friend. So, anyway, we're gonna talk about the whole power grid situation a little bit in this. We're gonna talk about how bad the storm has actually been for people, and everything that's going on with that. So we're gonna get into that here in just a moment. But yeah, it's Buffalo is just absolutely getting hammered. Uh, those freaking poor people up in Buffalo. This has not been a fun thing for them. Unfortunately, they keep finding. They did find a few people dead in their cars, had gotten stranded, and by the time they got to them, they were dead. There was, I think, was one person was found in a snowbank, which is horrible. Which is horrible. Congrats on your Cowboys win. Thank you very much. I was very happy about that. Looks like Philly's still going to take the division, but what can you do? You know, But yep, 36 dead so far from the winter storm. That obviously that number's expected to rise. There's people that they still have not gotten to. The one county, they said that there was no emergency services available in that county up in Buffalo, Cheektowaga County, I believe. Buffalo has 96% of the winter snow total. Yeah, they're getting hammered up, and they're looking at another 1 to 2 feet today. Buffalo is. Thank you very much for the donation, Asif, and the information. But yeah, they're looking at getting another 1 to 2 feet today. Uh, there was two people that actually died in Buffalo because the emergency services were not able to get to them. So it's just, I mean, it's a really sad situation, realistically. Uh, you know, Unfortunately, those things do happen, and but they're just Buffalo's getting decimated, decimated. Poor guy in the snowbank would have been better off digging a rut in the snow. Knowledge is power. Yeah, it's just the reality is, I mean, let's be 100% honest. All right, they knew the storm was coming. It was not any kind of a surprise. It wasn't like we didn't know. Oh my God, it was a freak thing that we didn't know it was going to happen. So if you were out on the roads in Buffalo, knowing what that weather was going to be like, a lot of the blame has to fall on yourself. Now, obviously, nobody. Nobody goes out there and decides, hey, today's the day I'm going to get stuck in the snow someplace and get killed, right? Nobody obviously does that. But again, I will say this, and as John McGill says, a week's notice. They knew a week ahead of time. So if you we're going to go out no matter what, all right? Because people are going to go out no matter what. That's what they're going to do. They don't care, whatever. So prepare accordingly. Have the things in your car that you're going to need: water, food, extra clothing, wool blankets, those type of things, to make sure you have a full tank of gas. You know what I mean? So I mean, a lot of these deaths, I mean, and obviously, if you're buried up in a blizzard and you're stuck in your car, I mean, there's not a lot you're going to be able to do about it. But if you prepare accordingly, your chances of survival are going to be much, much better. Number one. Number two, stay home. If you know it's going to be that bad, I mean, I'm going to tell you what, the day that we were hitting -7 here 2 days ago, I didn't go anywhere. I was like, and I told Steve, I mean, he was supposed to work that day. And I said, I don't know what to tell you, man, but I am not taking you in there. You stay home. Yeah, it's just, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because a lot, like I said, again, a lot of stuff is very preventable, and people just don't prepare accordingly. So what do we got? 308 in the chat. We're at 99 on the thumbs up, guys. That's only 1/3. Let's get those thumbs up there, please, to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. Also, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms, so I thank you for that reason as well. The more interaction, the better it is for the channel. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Now, here's the other thing that I have a problem with, okay? Because of some people, Ed, my furnace is acting up. Repair guy comes Monday. It happens. No, Richard, I get that and I understand it. Things are going to happen, but when you unnecessarily go out into that weather when you don't need to go out into that weather, that's a problem. Now, here's the other problem. What I was going to say that I have with that. The other problem that I have with it is you're also risking the lives of rescuers. Rescuers were absolutely trapped as well and were not able to get out. So think about that. Okay? Think about that. So you not only are you risking your own life, but you're risking the life of first responders. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, that's what they signed up for and blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to die, folks. Okay? I mean, that's a reality. Nobody wants to die. So, but, you have to just, sometimes, and I know it's not common anymore, you have to use common sense. Things happen. I get it. I mean, I totally get it, but, these things, like I said, it's, if I know that they're saying, okay, blizzard conditions, 4 to 5 feet of snow is on the way, whiteouts because of trying to drive in it, sub-zero temperatures, I'm going to go, hey, you know what? I'm calling off. I'm staying home, and that's it. Period. Put another log on the fire and go from there. So, let's talk about this with the power grid here, guys. This is wonderful example, another wonderful example of why it is important to be able to have wood stoves. They're trying to phase them out. A lot of these states are trying to get rid of them. All those type of things, and then and so what you have I'm just going to use the Tennessee region for an example. They had they had to they had power outages in Tennessee, but they also were saying that they were going to be doing, they didn't call it rolling blackouts, but they were saying they were encouraging people to cut back on their electric use because it was straining the system, right? And that there was an issue with that, and so don't use as much, and that there will be rolling. Like I said again, they didn't call it rolling blackouts, but there's going to be rolling blackouts uh, because of that, because of the strain on the power system. So explain to me, if you will, if they're trying to go all electric with everything, including driving your cars, what kind of strain is that going to be on the power grid when they can't even handle a storm coming in, and in moderating your power usage? okay, so you're in your house and you're trying to stay warm. So you're going to turn your thermostat up so the house stays warm. And when it's really cold like that, as we all know, the wind is blowing, it's going to be colder, it's harder to heat your home. You're going to end up using more power. And if you're using electric heat, you're in for number one, a huge bill. Number one, you know, yeah, someone didn't get the memo exactly. Um, yeah, and EVs don't work in sub-freezing temperatures. There's another reason that until they get that all figured out, that it's never going to work. They can make plans and do this in California and New York, and say that they're not going to sell any of this after a certain date. They're insane. They're insane because it's not doable. Especially, you might be able to get away with it more in California, in certain parts of California, not in Northern California, where they do get extremely cold temperatures, right? In the mountains and stuff like that. But New York, no way. There's no way. There's way too much cold weather in New York to think that you're going to be all electric vehicles when you can't even keep up with the electric demands of the people now. It's just Okie Ford says, I have electric heat. I also have propane heat for a backup, which is very smart. Yeah, because it's like if they're turning your power off in the middle of winter, in the middle of sub-zero temperatures, you can't beat wood heat. And I agree with that 100%. Nothing beats the heat of a wood stove. Nothing beats that heat. But it's insanity, guys. It is insanity. And these are great examples. And I realize we're having this terrible weather that's happened. Today was the third day of if you will of the bad weather, but it wasn't bad down here today. I mean, it was only 22 for a high, but I had sunshine all day long. Uh, all day long I had sunshine. California grid will not allow the cars already owned. Will not support. Okay, I got you. Yeah, Pam in Wonderland. Yeah, no, exactly. They can't handle the load now. So why do they think that it's going to be, that it's going to be something that's going to work? We've had power failures in extreme cold weather conditions. Yeah, of course, and and that's been happening. There was a what 1.8 million people without power at one point during this storm, you know, and no, the camper is not Four Seasons. It is not Four Seasons. So I wish it was, but Naughty Heathen says too much bitching these days instead of adapting and overcoming. Well, you learn. You learn what works. You learn what doesn't work. That's important. I will tell you this, and like I said, and I love it when people. So there's always going to be judgment, and I get it, and that's fine. I got broad shoulders. I can handle it. I don't care. You can say whatever you want to say. When people say to me, well, why didn't you have this in your truck or why didn't you have that? You know what? Didn't think about it. Wasn't, having an air compressor or a tire gauge in the truck is not something that I thought about, honestly, because how often is it something that you're going to use, right? But, it's just, what are you going to do? You live and you learn. So you find out. Uh, Camper can be easily adapted with insulation board, skirting, and plastic. Yes, and that's exactly what's going to happen, Pam in Wonderland. Yeah, I realized, obviously, you know, excuse me, -7 degree temperature here. The camper literally would not get warmer than what 50, 56. I think 56, 57 was as high as it would go. It just wouldn't do it. I have natural gas heat with 4 gas buddies as backups. Have backups for my backups. I don't blame you there, Asif. That's very, very smart. Thank you very much for the donation as well. Now, I do have a Mr. Buddy heater in the battery room. I could take one of my tanks, I could bring it in here, and I could turn that on. Okay. Uh, what I did, because I didn't feel good anyway, I just cocooned under my covers, kept things going, and realizing that it was only going to be a couple of days, If it was obviously if it was something that was going to be an extended period of time. If I was looking at 2 weeks, there's no way I would have had to do something in the midst of the cold weather, obviously. But I knew we were looking at 3 days. So we were -7 the one day. Yesterday we got up to a whopping 9 degrees, I think, was the high for the day. And then and then today we were at 22, which actually it's so bizarre. But going outside today in 22-degree weather actually felt warm. So yeah, so that I mean, we got through it. Tomorrow's going to be, I think, almost 30, and then we're going to get into much warmer weather. And so while we're in that much warmer weather window, I will be skirting the camper. I will be putting plastic on the windows. I will make sure that I am ready for when more cold weather comes. Now, first of all, also let me say, -7 degrees below zero here is not the norm. Okay, that's not the norm. That's not the norm in New York. 7 below zero is not the norm in New York. So those are things that are going to happen. Yeah, putting a hammock in the battery room. That's absolutely, that is a thought. But like I said, you know what? You live and you learn. So if I hadn't been here, right? Let's look at it realistically. If I hadn't been here, I wouldn't know what would have worked or what wouldn't have worked, right? By being here, by living it, experiencing it, that's how you find out. So I am not perfect and never claim to be perfect. I can always learn more, and I'm going to learn more. But you know, just you find out through attrition, if you will. You find out by making mistakes. So, who is your favorite cowboy of all time? Oh my God, that's a tough one. Oh, you know what? Emmett Smith was a very class act, and obviously he's the all-time rushing leader. Uh, I really loved watching him play. Uh, I saw, God, Aikman was just solid. He Roger Staubach, obviously another great player. Too Tall Jones, Harvey Martin, those guys. They were amazing defensive players. It's hard to say. I can't really pick down and say one guy because there's been so many. You know, there's been so many. But anyway, but yeah. So you're looking at the situation right now. They're talking again. There could be power outages and stuff like that. And with wanting to ban wood stoves from homes, especially in the Northeast, I think is probably one of the stupidest things that they could possibly do. You know, you are as stubborn as anybody. You always think you know better. I don't think I know better. I don't think I know better. I don't. I've never said that I know better than everybody else. I don't know where you're getting that. Am I stubborn? I'll give you I'm stubborn. I will absolutely give you I'm stubborn. Am I pig-headed when I dig my heels in? Um, yes, that's me. Absolutely. Okay. I will give you that all day long. But I don't think I'm a know-it-all. I absolutely do not. So, you know, I just love that when that happens. No, you can no lady kick. You don't have to block him. You don't have to hide him. Hey, Pam in Wonderland. Merry Christmas said, thank you for another year of entertainment, advice, and company. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you very much for the donation as well. I'm going to tell you, guys, and I appreciate that very much. Very kind donation. Um, I want to live this experience. Okay. So I'm just being cruel, Lady Kickbox. Okay. That's all right. All right. Cool. Um, living this experience, I can learn from it and it's going to help me grow as a person. Is there going to be times it's going to suck? Sure. Okay. It's going to happen, but yeah, if I needed to, Mark, I would grab your heater. Thank you though. I appreciate that. Yep. You only talk what you know. Exactly. Exactly. My favorite one. I had a comment. One of my favorite comments was the only thing that I know how to paint. So they gave me credit for painting. So thank you for that. They said I know how to garden. So appreciate them, acknowledging that I know how to garden, and then and move rock. That's what I said. That's what Ed's good at. Well, Ed has never claimed to be an engineer. Ed has never claimed to be a master carpenter. you know, I just so if I bring in people that know how to do that stuff better, tell me if that's not smart or not. You know what I mean? Tell me if that's not smart or not. I'm not either, Mark says. Mark, you are a very good carpenter. You are a very good carpenter. So please tell me the dog is outside. Of course not, Lori. Are you kidding me? Let, let me explain to you guys something. The only time that Hella would be out in her run ever, okay, is if I have to go somewhere and I can't take her with me. And I will tell you this, 95% of the time, Hella goes with me wherever I go. So if I'm in the camper, Hella's in the camper. She's in here right now, okay? That dog is with me constantly. There is no way, what kind of person would leave an animal outside in the kind of weather that we had? Not anybody decent, okay? But dogs in bed equal body heat. No, she does not sleep in the bed. So Ed also sometimes misreads comments. What did I misread? She said, "Don't tell me that dog is out, not inside." So no, I love my animals. Trust me, my animals get treated better than a lot of people treat their children. I will tell you, and that's a fact too. So, but anyway, I going off the rails here. But no, it's just I'm going to figure out what works. Being down here, like, and I know there was another comment about well, you've been in a camper before, so you know what it's like. Well, I've never been in a camper in December before. When we first got the property in New York, we were in a 37-foot camper up until November when we finally got the wood stove in the house, and then we were in the house. So, because it was getting cold in the camper. So, that's again, you live and you learn. You figure out what works, you figure out what doesn't work, and that's where I'm at now. This is my first winter. Um, you know, it's my first winter down here, so I'm learning. So I pick on him because people warn him over and over. No, you're good, man. That's fine. You can pick on me. And the thing is, you know what? People say things all the time. Some of it I take in, some of it I do, some of it I don't. So you know what? If I have to learn the hard way, then I learn the hard way. But here's the other part that I will tell you. Am I always not honest, even to my own detriment? Even to my own detriment, because I get hammered, right? Did I have to tell you? So here, like Steve told me, he said, "Why did you tell them that you went off the road with the truck? That you slid on the ice, and then what the way that it happened?" I said, "Because it happened. I'm, gonna share what happened, and it's that's always, you. I'm going to be honest to a fault. I'm going to be honest to a fault, and so yeah, I'm going to tell you when I screw up, I'll be the first one to get on here and say, man, I should have done this or I should have done this. Should I have gotten the camper skirted in way before time? Yes, I should have. You're right. I should have. Am I an idiot because I didn't? Well, I learned. I wouldn't say I was an idiot, but I definitely suffered for it. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So it's okay. Um, you know, your honesty is why I keep watching. Well, thank you, man. I do appreciate that. And I didn't take it. I didn't take what you were saying as being trollish. So I don't want you to think that I took that as being trollish. Um, you know, but yeah, there's always something that we should have done already. And it is. I mean, like I said, guys. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, and yeah, yeah, reverse priorities, right? And you got to have priorities, and that's what I'm trying to do, and trying to figure it out. And I don't. There's a guy that I was watching, and he's over in France, or not France. He's over. He's over. He's over in the Alps someplace. He actually got a really cool channel, and he bought like 8 acres up in the mountains, and winter setting in up there. And he's been working on the roof of the one building, redoing the roof, and it's been really cool to see. And he had a tent set up, and I said to myself, man, when it gets cold, I wonder what he's going to do. Well, he's packing up. He's heading out of there for the winter because it's that bad up there. And that's what happens. I mean, I am not a quitter. You know what? If you can say anything you want to say about me. You can call me fat, bald, whatever. I don't even care. But nobody can ever say Prepper Nurse One quit. Prepper Nurse One gave up, because Prepper Nurse One don't quit. He don't give up. I will tough it out. I will do what I have to do. I will get through it. You know, riots and protests all over the world. Yeah, I think because people have had enough. I think people have had enough. You know, and I think that's why you're seeing. Um, how is Heather and Becky doing in the cold? Oh, I got to tell you what happened to them guys. Okay, so the first night when we had the really really cold temperatures, and the really blowing winds, one of the pine trees in the dog run fell down, and I guess it just missed Becky's car. I mean, if her car had been more forward, it would have hit her car, but it just missed her car. So they had to deal with that to start with. And then Becky called me this morning, and the generator decided to crap the bed today. Perfect day for it, right when they need it, because there was no sunshine in New York today. I shocked. I can't believe there was no sunshine in New York. It was unbelievable that they actually. It's cloudy and overcast all the time this time of year in New York. Say it isn't so, right? But anyway, and I'm being sarcastic. But the generator went on them this morning, and what had happened was they had something had frozen over in there. So, but so she called Greg, and obviously you guys a lot of you will probably remember Greg. Obviously, Greg's an awesome dude, and so they called Greg, and he came down, and he had another generator. So he brought down that other generator to use for right now for them, and he took the other one, and he's going to see if he can't get it working again. But you know, it these are things that are going to happen, and so they have to. I'm not there. They're going to have to figure these things out, and thank goodness Greg is there to do that. Greg is awesome. Pulled my truck out of the mud with his tractor. Yes, I remember that. He pulled several trucks out of the mud with his tractor. Oh my god! And of course it was a get together, and of course it was raining. so so be prepared. I do want to do a get together this year coming up, the new year. I do want to do a get together, and I will be doing it in West Virginia. But be prepared, whatever date that I set for that, it most likely will rain that day. It most likely will rain. So, but yeah, it will definitely be raining, no matter what weekend. The weather, it was horrid that weekend. Yeah, it was like Woodstock. It was absolutely like Woodstock with the mud and the rain, but we still had fun. We had a big old fire, and it was a good time. But too fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot. We still had a good time, and everybody enjoyed themselves, which was great, and that's what it was about. But yeah, I do want to try to do that this coming year. Is do a get together for everybody. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, huge bonfires. Yep. I have a spot in mind. I have to talk to them. Um, I have to talk to them about it. I think we can rent this one place out, and if we can, it's a perfect venue for what we want to do. So they say that 25% of the houses in my county have busted pipes. Wow, in Tennessee, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Hey, Naughty Heathen. Lee Wheelberger gave you a shout out as a prepper who puts out reliable info. Oh, that's very cool. Well, you would you let him know? I said thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's very kind, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I try, like I said, guys. You know what? I'm going to be honest to a fault. Again, even to my own detriment, where people are going to hammer me because I didn't do something exactly right or I wasn't prepared exactly the way. And I love this comment. Okay, and here's the comment I love the most. And like I said, I don't even care. I really don't. Um, when people will say, "Well, you're a prepper and you're not ready for this, and you're a prepper and you're not ready for that," I guarantee you this. Okay, when SHTF happens, even if it's tomorrow, I'm going to be in a whole lot better shape than a lot of people out there. Guaranteed that. Guaranteed. You know, will that then priorities change. You know what I mean? Getting now who is Lee Wilberger? What is he? Does he have a chance? I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you. But anyway, it just things change according to circumstances. All right, things change according to circumstances, and so Richard said that's a fact that you'll be ready. Oh, I will. So now I will tell you this: you give me 2 years. Here I'm gonna make a prediction for you guys. All right, I'm gonna make a prediction for you guys. You give me 2 years down here, and hopefully SHTF doesn't happen in that 2 year period. Not only will my group grow that I have down here, that we will have a bigger group. Inventor Lee where he does news on prepper related stuff. Oh, okay, cool. All right, very cool. Well, thank you. And if you go see him, tell him I said thank you very much for giving me a shout out like that. I appreciate that. You give me 2 years, not only will we have greenhouses in here, the water system set up the way we want to have it set up, all those things, and we'll have things squared away down here. We will definitely do that. We will have backups to our backups. You will need a bigger pavilion. Well, we can always build another one, LC in Florida. We will. There's always that opportunity to build another one. We got the room. We got the room. So, but you know, we will have backups to our backups and probably triple ups as far as that goes. Okay. Um, we're gonna do what we got to do down here. We're gonna get things squared away. As I've told you guys before, I got a fantastic group of people, and as more people get buildings in through here, set up so that they have some place to go to and that type of stuff, and they have supplies here and they have things on site. It's going to make it better for everybody, and when that time comes, um I would love to join your team, but I'm a bit far right now. Well, kid, I'm not sure where you're at, but we have one gentleman that comes all the way from Massachusetts. So, and we have another gentleman coming from New Jersey. So those are pretty decent distances away as well. So Mark says the cabin is definitely a learning experience. Yeah, but you know what, man? I'm going to tell you what, and I'm sure you've probably read the comments. Obviously, some negative, but you're always going to have some that are negative. Uh, you know, you're going to you did a fantastic job on that cabin, Mark. Absolutely fantastic job in the cabin. I can envision what more you're going to do with that. I know you plan on closing in the underside for storage, which is very very smart. It gives you another spot to store stuff. When you're done with that, it'll probably take you 6-8 months to get it to where you got it dialed in the way you want it, and it's going to be a nice getaway for you and your family to come down whenever. And see, here's the other thing: if you are a group member of mine, guys, you're not limited to coming down that one weekend a month. If you want to come down any weekend, you can come down. If you have a week vacation and you call me up and you say, "Hey, Ed, listen, we got a week vacation. We want to come down and we want to work on our spot and whatever," go for it. You know what I mean? I have no problem with anything like that. Nothing. You know, if you're part of the group and this is a family. That's the other part I think people don't get. This is a family. And you may say I'm too trusting, but I'm learning. I've definitely learned my lesson. I will tell you that with people, but you know it. No, but Mark did a fantastic job on that cabin. It looks awesome. Now I haven't been down there since the get together. I haven't been down there at all, so I probably should go down there and look, make sure everything's good. But yeah, Joe's been here. Joe saw the cabin and stuff. So Naughty Heathen, welcome to the Hardcore Preppers. Well, thank you for joining, Naughty Heathen. I appreciate that, man. Well, we do the live streams every Monday, so make sure you join us Monday for the Hardcore members only. That is at 8 o'clock. So just so you know ahead of time, that's every Monday. I do that for the Hardcore Preppers. So I appreciate you becoming a member like that. That's very cool. So, but yeah, Mark's insulation's next. You know, finish getting it boxed in so that he's not losing not losing heat. But I'm sure January he'll be he'll have that buttoned up much better by the time January comes. But but yeah, it just like I said, if we get the time, the amount of supplies that we would have here will be amazing. Will be amazing. We will be seriously ready for whatever may come. And when we continue, like the underground work is going to take time, and I get it. Okay. How do I become part of the group? Zach, what you got to do is you shoot me an email at preppernurse1@yahoo.com. Give me your phone number to start with. I will call you. We will talk. In the topic, put group member so that it stands out for me. And we will, I will contact you, but you got to make sure you give me your phone number and I'll call you and then we'll go from there. Okay. But, you know, anyway, so, yeah, but we're putting together a good thing down here. And I will tell you what, like Angry Prepper, you guys know Angry Prepper, Jason. The last time Jason was here, he came down in November and, he told me, he said, man, I got to tell you, he goes, you got a good thing going on here. And I think so too. Um, you know, yeah, any luck in West Virginia to find, for the F1. Yeah. I already have a place that I can go to. I don't think the tire, it seems fine. I've been out since then. We were out the other day. Actually, we went out yesterday and, we actually grabbed there's an IGA and they do like dinners in the back for like $7. And so I said, it's got to be Christmas themed, And he's like, well, let's go. Steve was like, okay, we'll check it out. So we go in there, and they had turkey and ham, and they had mashed potatoes and stuffing. So that's what I got, And it was a good meal for $7. Way better than fast food, I can tell you that. So, but yeah, so we did that, and so that was our dinner yesterday. And then Steve had to work last night, so he worked and but so yeah, it's just no, but I've been out and the tire seems fine. Like I said, there's it doesn't seem to be going flat and or anything like that. So that's that's a good thing. So it looks like I dodged a bullet, got really lucky with that after hitting the ditch because I thought for sure I blew that tire. Now I will still have it looked at. There's a place that I got my tires that I went to and I'll go back there. They were like they had so many people waiting um, because of that day with the ice and people were in ditches and smashing up tires in their vehicles. So wasn't like I was the only idiot out on the road that day. I want Mark to come and help me on my cabin edition this spring. LOL. Well, sorry, Joe, but the impact may have affected the tire pressure sensor. It may have, yeah, but it doesn't seem like I said. It's not going off saying that low pressure or anything like that. And I've been keeping an eye on the tire, and the tire looks fine. So So like I said, I got really, really lucky. But I will tell you this: moving again, another learning lesson, right? If it's going to be icy, and we know it's going to be icy, we are not leaving the property. It's very simple moving forward. So, but yeah. So yeah. Too funny. What do we got? 499 in the chat. We're at 243 on the thumbs up, guy. No rim damage. Nope. Nope. JJ, nothing. I do not have a tire pressure gauge, Okie Forge. I definitely need to pick one up. So, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, guys, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. And why are the upper floors always cooler in the winter? Ah, upper floors of what? Like a building? That I'm not sure what you're asking. Nope, no steering. Front end alignment's fine. Yeah, because I was actually going down the road the other day, and I took my hands off the steering wheel, and it wasn't pulling to one side or the other. It was just going straight down the road. So, yeah, the upper floors are normally warmer. Yeah, if you, Steve can attest to that. He slept in Eddie's old room, in the house when we went up there for Thanksgiving, and he goes, man, this is crazy. It was, and that was with the window open the whole time. So yeah, the upper floors are generally warmer because that heat rises. But anyway, what was I going to say? I was going to say something else here to you guys, and I can't remember what I was going to say. But anyway, it's like this whole push for all electric stuff when we can't even handle one little storm. And yeah, it's well, not little storm, but one big storm, if you will. And they're telling no lights are coming on. No lights are coming on. Tip Top Girl. That's what I'm saying. I'm not having any lights coming on with it. So there's nothing. Initially when I did it, it said the tire was low. So when I drove down and they put air in it, he said it was low. Yeah, the sensor went back off. Yes. So the sensor did not stay on. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I got really lucky. Got very, very lucky. But the system cannot handle what we're giving it right now. So if they're trying to force people away from wood stoves, if they're trying to force people away from uh, oil and propane to heat your home, and they want, like New York City guys, they want it all to be electric. Well, when there's a power outage, there's going to be a problem. And if you can't have heat in your home, it's not like you can go down to your electric car and sit in your electric car and warm it up because that battery is going to be dead as well. It's not doable. It is just not doable. Now I will tell you what I had said to Steve the other night when it was as cold as it was. I said, if I get too cold, I said, I'll go sit in the truck. Me and Hella will go in the truck, and I'll just turn the heat on in the truck and sit in there. That truck, it stays nice and warm. I don't care how cold it is outside. That truck warms up quick. Yeah, you can make do without electricity, but you cannot make do without heat. I agree 100%. 100% agree. You got to have, you need to have backups. You need to have backups. And that's really, really important. That was actually one of the reasons why I bought the Mr. Buddy propane heater, because I figured if worst case came to worst, I could just put that in here, turn that on, and get heat that way if I had to. So, um, obviously, there's things that I can do myself to make this camper more efficient and warmer, and that's what I'm going to do first. Again, -7 degrees is not the normal temperatures for down here, obviously. So, it happened. I'm actually glad. Um, what heat for the camper currently? Just propane. Just propane. How many 1 pound propane tanks? Actually, the Mr. Buddy heater that I have goes on a 20-pound tank. So I would just put the 20-pound tank, sit it in here, and turn that on, and that would be good. But I do have 1 pound canisters as well. So I do have them as well. And I brought a bunch of them down with me on my last trip down because I had a bunch in New York. So I don't even know how many I have, to be honest with you. Well, I'm hoping to get something started in the spring as far as a more permanent home for me. I don't plan on living in the camper long term. That was never going to be the intention anyway. So, yeah. So, but anyhow, okay. So we are actually at egg time right now. So, how many eggs today, guys? And yes or no for thick neck. Let's do that first, and we will go from there. And while we're doing that, let's keep those thumbs up coming. We're at 483 in the chat with 280 on the thumbs up. All right, hold on a second here. Give you guys a minute to get your guesses, and we will go from there. But going back to telling you real quick about Becky and Heather up there, so they didn't have the backup generator to charge up the batteries, so they actually had an issue with that, and so they had to redo that, get that set up, and so Greg brought down the other generator and got them going because they couldn't have gone anywhere today to get a new generator. Everything's closed because it's Christmas. All right, so if you had the same exact guess as B5 Key, I believe is how you said the name. Um, it was 0 eggs today, and that's where we were at. So they were the first one with the right guess. It was B5, and I think it was Key was the end of that. So you are the winner. So congratulations, you've won absolutely nothing. They have just not been laying. It's been too cold, and Mark said we had one this week. Yeah, it's just what are you going to do? Yeah, they're too cold. So see now, if I was up there, what I would be doing, being honest, I would be giving them oatmeal. I'd cook up oatmeal and I would put that. I'd put that down for them so they had something warm to eat, and they love it. They love oatmeal. I've done that for them before, and you know, James Price said most of my chickens are still laying. Yeah, I think it depends on where you are and what your setup is and stuff like that. So yeah, you got to sweet talk them for eggs. Well, like I said, I'd go out there. I talk to them all the time. So I actually did get eggs in the winter, not as many, not as few as they're getting now. So they're like any other animal. You got to give them that attention. And then we got Red in there, and Red's a sweetheart. She's just, you know, she's a very lovable chicken. You walk up, you can pet her. Um, I'm sure they do. I've been their human for a long time. I know my cats miss me. I miss my cats. Are you kidding me? I would love to have Mr. Max down here with me. Would love to have him down here, but it's not. Unfortunately, I don't think he would do well. He didn't do well when we moved from Greece, New York, down to the homestead. He flipped out. Honestly, he flipped out bad. So you know, and that was an hour drive. I couldn't imagine what he would be like after an 8-hour drive, and then trying to adjust to a new environment. Would not be good. Would not be good. And I wouldn't do that to him at his age. And that's the other thing. A lot of our cats are older cats now. So, But I may bring Soxy down in the spring. I may bring Soxy down because Soxy wouldn't care as long as she's getting her love and attention. She would not care, and she would be, she'd be the only cat right now. So, but I think in the spring I may end up getting a couple of cats because I like having cats. But all right, so but yeah, it just these type of events that happen like with this storm are great examples of why what this whole agenda, this green agenda that they're trying to push down our throats, is not doable. It's just not, you know, and you do what you have to do. You survive the best way that you can, and if you can do a wood stove and you can put a wood stove in, I would highly recommend you do so. Get them in there. Like I said, nothing beats wood heat. Nothing. In worst case, if you had to, if it's winter and it's like the power was out and the wood stove's down in like the family room, you can always put blankets down and lay around down by the wood stove and you would be nice and toasty warm. The green agenda is not very green in some ways. Well, what kills me, if you look at this, is what kills me more than anything else. There's this new big push for nuclear power again. Have you guys seen that? There's a real push to go and oh well, it's a very clean energy and it's this and that, But yeah, the you have the half life of this, the spent radiation is what 6,000 years. So yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, I would not do a pellet stove. No, I would do a traditional wood stove. So, did you change your mind about putting a camping wood stove in the camper? I hadn't. What I was thinking about doing. If I was going to stay in the camper for more than 1 year, what the game plan was going to be was build an addition on the frontier of the camper and put a wood stove in there, in that area, and then just be able to like leave the window and the door wide open and let that heat come in that way. But we'll see. I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on what happens next year, how things go, where the finances are. That all takes part of that. It's all part of that. So we have to see where we're at, see what's going on, see what we're getting accomplished down here, and those type of things. But you know, yeah, and where, like Okie Ford said, and where would you get pellets in an SHTF situation? Right. That's why, and he's 100% right. You got to go with a traditional wood stove, and do it that way. It's the smartest way to do it. When people say, "Oh yeah, I got a pellet stove," I'm like, you know, well, so with no power and no pellets, what do you got? Nothing. So I would never get a pellet stove. Yeah, a lot of the wood pellet stoves have automatic feeders that require electricity. Exactly. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, I give me a traditional wood stove. When I had the house in Greece, New York, I put an insert in the fireplace, and we went from 10% efficiency to 90% efficiency just by doing that alone. And that was a great move. I mean, our area there, the living area, and that's pretty much where we spent the majority of our time, was in that living room area. Watching TV or whatever, and had the computer was there at the time. We didn't have a laptop at the time, but we had the computer was there, and everybody kind of hung out down there, and it was really cool. And then you went upstairs at night, and it was cooler upstairs. We never had the heat above 55, I think, upstairs. I always had the heat down to the lowest setting upstairs. What made a huge difference when we were in the house in Greece, when I had blown in insulation put in the attic, the foam insulation. not one that swells up, but just a regular where they blow this insulation in the whole thing, and they add like 2 feet of this insulation in your entire attic area. What a difference that made. My heating bills went down from the first year to the second year because of doing that. And it was cooler in the summertime too, with that extra insulation. So I would say this, guys, and like, I mean, my battery room as well. I have the rock wool insulation in the battery room as well, as you guys know. Um, excuse me. Don't skimp on insulation. Get good insulation, and if you're going to do insulation, my recommendation would be the rock wool insulation. It is awesome. That's what I use. That's the only thing that I will use on anything that I'm going to build down here is rock wool insulation. So the battery room is insulated with rock wool insulation. The blue house is insulated with rock wool insulation, and and even Steve has said, once we insulated, and we've never insulated the ceiling down there. Okay, the ceiling is still not insulated in the blue house. Um, but he said once we insulated the walls, he said the difference it made in there was night and day. So, what's the temp been in the bedroom the last couple of days? Oh, that great question. Very, very good question. Um, the battery room, even with the lights on in there and stuff like that, when it was 7 below, I think we were at about 40 degrees in the battery room. So held up pretty well. I was um, pretty pleased with that because of the fact that it was that cold and it was still that warm in the battery room. Normally, you're looking at 55, 60 degrees in the battery room on a normal cold day. So not bad at all. Hey, Tanya, glad to see you could make it. But yeah, so that's and again, so there's another thing, moving forward. I should have slept in the battery room. I'm going to tell you what. Honestly, guys, once I was under my covers and I was cocooned into my blanket, the one that I bought, um, and long johns on, wool socks, okay, um, you know, the one blanket I wrap up myself up in, the sheets, uh, comforter, and then another comforter on top. I was toasty warm. I actually even have another wool blanket that I never put on the bed because once I was underneath there, I was fine. So yeah, electric blankets suck electricity though. That's the only part, And I was trying to. You can skirt the battery room too. That would help. No, you're right. You're right. But yep, you survived. You must have done the right thing. Yeah, that's. Oh, I will tell you, Randy Romines. Okay, I went out to use the bathroom on that day when it was super windy, and oh, that was chilly. I'm not going to give you the details, but let's just say it was very, very chilly. That was not, yeah, yeah. That's not that part of it's not much fun. So, but yeah, but like I said, we will get things squared away. Steve's going to help me skirt the camper. We'll get the camper skirted. I will be ready for when the weather gets colder again, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do what we need to do. That's all. We got through this. Today was day 3. We're going to hit into a warming spell. It's going to give us enough time to get out there, get this squared away, and I absolutely am going to get this squared away. That's the game plan. So, but and hopefully, I have to actually call the well digger guys as well because you know it there should be coming at any time. So I'm hoping that that happens soon and that we get that done and get that in place. That would be really, really cool. And we'll get that squared away, and then we'll have, once the well's in place. Yeah, Murphy's Law. If you're prepared, you won't need it. Of course, it's when something happens. need to have something that you don't have. You can have everything else, and then you don't have that, and then you're the prepper that, oh, the unprepared prepper. Oh my God, I can't believe you didn't have that. Well, thank you. Hey, you know what? Like I said, and it's fine. Like I said, I'll take the abuse. I'm used to it. So, but I mean, and like I said, you know what? It is what it is, guys. You know, I am, like I said, I am very thick-headed, I guess. I'm stubborn. Stubborn. It's the German and Dutch. I am very pig-headed, I guess is the right word. Uh, but like I said, I ain't no quitter, and we'll get there, and it'll get done, and we'll get through this winter. And this winter, we may have some more periods that suck, but you know, um, we'll get through it, and next year we'll be in a better position. That's just the way I look at it. So, all right, let us do some shout outs. So before we do that, we got 467 in the chat. We're at 317 on the thumbs up. Let's do this just for fun. Let's see if we can hit 400 thumbs up. We got like 20 minutes to go, guys. Let's see if we can hit 400 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support. Hey, Asif, have a good night. We'll see you later, buddy. Show that thumbs up there to show support for the channel, and thank you. Also, it really does make a big difference with the algorithms, and I appreciate that as well. So also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon to get all of the notifications. It does not look like Hella is expecting at all. She's still skinny, so I don't think that Hella's pregnant. No, because she would have been showing. Excuse me, she would have been showing by now, because she would have been due in like 2 weeks. She would be due like the first week of January. So, excuse me, I don't think that she's pregnant. So. All right, so first we have Icky Can up in Canada. Real good guy. I would ask you to go and support him. Angry Prepper in New York City with Jason, another good dude. So definitely go show Angry Prepper some love. You have Alaska Prepper with Rudy up in Alaska, and another good guy. You have Alaska Granny. There's Sean James and My Self Reliance, same guy, 2 different channels. Really good information with him with his building and how he's done his stuff. It's just amazing to watch him do what he's done. You have North Shore Preparedness. There is Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza doing the Carrington Chronicles down as well, and he's also in his Rochester area. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. I Can Prep 2 gifted 10 Preppers 1 memberships. Thank you very much, I Can Prep 2. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. Let's see. Where was I? Adam and Dax out on the West Coast in Seattle. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. Wrangle Star is another good guy. Cody, real good guy. You have Red Poppy Ranch. Hold on, I gotta get a drink. All right. Let's see. Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin up in Minnesota. Nice young couple there dealing with the real extremely cold weather up there. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team, 2 different channels. Really cool people, nice people. A lot of good information with their channels. You have Green Greg's, Southern Prepper 1. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have St. Bernard Acres with Joe, and Joe's in the chat tonight. You have Doug and Stacy, another really good channel. A lot of great information with them as well. The Nomadic Movement, which is down in Panama, nice young couple, and right now they're in Connecticut working on getting a coffee business going up there. You have the Green Dream Project out in Arizona. I like what they're doing out there as well, surviving out in the desert, showing people how to do it. You have Camping with Steve Wallace. Really like him. He does stealth camping, which is a lot of fun. It's very entertaining to watch. You have Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader, another nice family. Obviously anybody that watches that channel knows that she lost her husband in a automobile accident. She was hurt. Two of her children were hurt. Real bad situation, but she's still going with her channel, and good for her. You have Boss of the Swamp. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Very, very smart dude. Definitely go show him some support. Listen to what he has to say. He's got a lot of really good information. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres, Suspicious Observer, Bear Independent, The Uneducated Economist, Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. And I know he's been spending some time in Germany as well. You have Adapt 2030. There is Malachi's Corner, Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one to get your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall, y'all. So definitely go get your weather from Ryan. Real good channel, real good dude, gives a lot back to the community, which is awesome. You have Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand because he makes you think. He gives you the information and lets you decide what you want to do with it. You have Deep South Homestead. There's The Outsider, The Fit Farmer. There's Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed, Townsend's, The Prepared Mind out in California. You have Pinball Preparedness, who is in Tennessee, East Tennessee Preparedness, The Economic Ninja, and last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. It's a newer channel. They are also in Tennessee. So I would ask you to go and support those channels. Tell them Prepper Nurse 1 sent you over. And like I said, I think it's good to get different information, to see different things. People look at things from different perspectives, depending on what part of the country they're in. So I think that that's a really cool thing. So what are we at? 353. So we need 47 more thumbs up, guys, to get to 400. Can we do it? So let's see if we can hit that 400 thumbs up. But yeah, so definitely check that out. All right. So all right. So what was I going to say here? But yes, there's a lot of good channels, a lot of different information out there, and I think we should be supporting each other. I think it's really important. Now, there's a lot of channels that I did not mention, obviously, so other people are putting channels up, which is fine. There's a ton of channels out there. So I just, I have my list. There's only so many I'm going to do each time. But there's a lot of channels that I really enjoy. And so, I want to share them with you. And if you like them, then, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I mean, you don't have to listen to anybody. But, I think it's really important to get different perspectives of how people think about things. So that is a good thing. All right, so we're at 362. So now we're 363. So we're 37 away. 37 away from 400. So we got to do that, guys. Let's get 400 before we jump off here. And again, I do appreciate that. It's just for fun. We'll see if we can hit 400 thumbs up. If you ever wished you had listened more to your grandparents, check out Whirlpool Holler channel. Yeah, you know what? That's one of the things and I'm gonna tell you what, I did listen to my grandparents a lot. One of the things that I got from them before I ever became a prepper. Okay, I guess I was a prepper before I knew I was a prepper, because I always had a stocked pantry. And my grandparents would tell me, who grew up in the Great Depression, they told me what it was like back then for them. And my grandmother always said, having stuff on hand, you cannot beat that, because if you need it, it's there. And that always resonated with me. It was always really important. I always thought it was. And because like we would be at grandma's and she'd like go down in the cellar and grab an extra mayonnaise. And what she would have on the shelf, they had the shelves, and the newest would be in the very back. So she'd have like 3 or 4 mayonnaise ready to go. And it was always Hellman's, which I think is the best mayonnaise out there. So we go down there, grab the next jar of Hellman's, and then we pull the other ones up, and and just rotated stuff. And that's what they did. That's how we grew up. So for me, growing up canning and putting stuff up, that was just normal stuff. And so I always listened to that. So when I got my own apartment, I had a closet. My closet was always always full of food because I believed it was really important to be stocked up because you just never knew. And it wasn't a prepping mindset, it was just how I grew up mindset. And Bubba One says Miracle Whip for me. It's weird. Okay, so I've had Miracle Whip, way too tangy for me. All right, way too tangy. And it's weird how different parts of the country, different people will like different things, and it's kind of neat actually. But so there's no slam on you for liking Miracle Whip. That's fine. I'm just saying. So, but yeah, so we had always had stuff in the basement at Grandma. She had a full freezer down there that was always stocked full of stuff, which was awesome as well. But Jason M. Smith, Miracle Whip is not mayonnaise. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. Like I said, I like Hellman's. I love Hellman's. So, but anyway, Miracle Whip and peanut butter sandwiches. Jay said Duke's mayonnaise is the best, better than Hellman's. Well, that's fine. I like Hellman's. Here's my philosophy. Okay, Ritz crackers. I like Ritz crackers. I like the Townhouse butter crackers. I like those. Right. So if you said to me, "Hey, try these crackers," okay, I might try those crackers. But guess what? I'm going to buy them because I like them. If it's not broken, I'm not going to fix it. That's always been my philosophy. If it's not broken, why try to fix it? So, you know, we all have our flavors. And the thing is too, part of it for me is with growing up and with my grandparents, that was part of that. Hellman's. It was always Hellman's. And so, that's why I will always buy Hellman's, and Heather will always buy Hellman's. So, because that's what we have. That's what they grew up on. That's what they know. It's just like, okay, so growing up poor, we ate a lot of macaroni and cheese. We did a lot of hamburger helper. We did a lot of goulash, right? All that type of stuff. I still love all those things. I never, to this day, if we're going to be a pot of goulash, I'm in. I'm ready. Yeah, spaghetti, absolutely. Cheap meals, cheap meals. But, I've eaten so much macaroni and cheese growing up, and I never got tired of macaroni and cheese. Never. So, you know, yeah, and I still like spaghetti, so it's it's just the way it goes, just the way it goes. So what, 381. So we're 19 away. We're getting there. 19 more thumbs up, guys, and we'll hit 400. So let's keep them going. But all right, let's do this. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We are all over the world. We are a huge network, a huge family of people. Where is everybody from tonight? I hated goulash when my mom fixed it. Oh, it had to be Grandma. Grandma had to do it. Franklin County, Ohio. Massachusetts with John. South Dakota with Wanda. Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Southeast Michigan. Greenlee County, Arizona. New Mexico. We have Palm Beach, Pennsylvania. That's weird. Wyoming. Hickory, North Carolina with Philip. Mount Charleston, Nevada with Jason. Charlotte County, Florida. We have New Mexico. North Pallet, New England. BC, Canada with Emil. Northern Texas with Mary. Finleyville, Pennsylvania with Susie in the house. We have Metro Birmingham, Alabama area. Very nice. Bumstead, Florida with Frederick. Washington State with Sandy. Bath in England in the UK. Very nice. Glad to have you here, Brian. The UP of Michigan with Auntie in the house. Auntie Pam. Lone Star State with Sam. San Diego, California with Callie. We have freezing cold West Virginia with Betty. Yes, chilly. Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia. Hale, Michigan with Joe in the house. Eastern North Carolina. Aloha Prepper. Because I wasn't smart enough to fly back to the islands before the freeze. Oh my God, that's too funny. New Jersey in the house with Jersey Prepper. Very nice. Frankfort, Illinois, the Bluegrass State, very nice. Noodlehead, I like the name. Angie from Michigan. Janet from New York. Campbell, Missouri, with Antonio. We have Stephanie in Tennessee. Marie in Montana. West Mississippi with WDW Mommy. Very nice. We got Tennessee once again with James. We have Nebraska with Kyle. So again, guys, we're all over the states, all over the world, all up and through Canada, all over in Europe. We're a huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that are awake. We're the ones that can make a difference. We can make a difference now by trying to educate people. Is it sometime like bashing your head into a wall? Absolutely it is. Absolutely. But you should still try to do it. All Seeing Cats in South Jersey. Malachi's Corners in the house. Nice to see you. She's in North Carolina. But yeah, like I said, we're a huge network of people. When something happens, and it's a matter of when, not if, we're going to be the ones that truly can make a difference. We're the ones that are going to be able to help people, educate people at that point in time, because they're going to need the help. They really, truly are. So we're at 398 on the thumbs up, guys. 2 more. We hit our goal of 400. There we are. We got 400 now. Sweet. You guys are awesome. I wasn't sure. I was like, well, is 400 too high of a goal? But anyway, we can make a difference. Again, I will continue to encourage you guys to prep, get ready. Hey, Troy, Christmas bone for Hella. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. I will get her one for sure. I go to the store and I'll get the meat bones for soup bones, and I give them to her, and she loves them. So thank you. I appreciate that. Again, keep prepping. These things that just happened, this event that just happened, that is a learning exercise. That's what I like to call that. You learn what works and you learn what doesn't work. And, you plan accordingly so that the next time it's going to be better, that you don't have to suffer as much. And I'm very happy. I can tell you this right now. I'm very happy that it was basically a 3-day event that I was dealing with here, because I would not have wanted it to be a long-term type of situation. But we will get things squared away here. I promise you that, and we will definitely be in better shape for the next round of cold when that comes in. So, but anyway, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Very much appreciated for what they do, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me. It means the world to me. It really does. And I know I say it every time, but I want you all to realize how much I really, truly appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys being in here. And it's a lot of fun. I enjoy these chats, and we have a good time. And, we talk about serious stuff. We talk about goofy stuff. We just talk about whatever. And that's okay. We got Edgewater, Florida with Judy in the house. But, it's... we're a big family. We really, truly are. And I've made some great connections off this channel. I can tell you, met some wonderful people, and I'm really, really, really happy about that. Really happy about that. It makes it worthwhile. It really, truly does. So, again, before I do sign off, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I hope you were able to spend it with people that you care about, and that you had a good day. And that's I'm glad that you decided to spend part of your Christmas with me, so that's appreciated as well. Remember, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are truly all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we could ever figure that one out, we truly would be in such better shape. There is so much that we could accomplish to make life better for everybody. There's no reason anybody should be starving, none whatsoever. No reason for that. Nobody should be going hungry. Nobody should have not have a roof over their head. I think that we really need to try to work together. But also, guys, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. New Orleans is in the house. Very nice, Clayton. Glad to have you here tonight. Remember, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you were trying to do, whatever you were trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that is going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. If you stay positive and stay away from the negativity, excuse me, you're going to be in much, much better shape. Don't listen to negative people telling you what you can't accomplish. Because if you set realistic goals, you can accomplish anything that you want to. And that's important. Remember that. So, anyway, guys, have a great night. Again, Merry Christmas. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.